They say time heals all wounds. They're wrong. Some wounds don't heal. They just get quieter until 2 a.m. in a certain alley on the east side of town. Then they scream. Victor Kane killed a man 20 years ago. The body's buried. The case is cold. The witnesses are dead. But the echo never dies. And tonight, it's getting louder. Victor Kane woke at 1:47 a.m. Not because of an alarm, not because of a dream. He simply woke. The same way he'd woken every night for 20 years. He lay in the darkness of his bedroom, listening to his wife's steady breathing beside him. Sarah, married 18 years. She knew he had insomnia. She didn't know why. Nobody knew why. Victor rose quietly, dressed in the clothes he'd laid out the night before. Dark pants, dark jacket, comfortable shoes. The uniform of a man who walked in shadows. 1:52 a.m. 8 minutes until he had to leave. He stood at the bedroom window, looking out at the city. Somewhere, out there in the east side, an alley waited. It had been waiting for 20 years. Patient, eternal, like guilt. Victor had tried to stop. The first year after happened, he'd sworn he'd never go back. He'd driven to the opposite side of the city, changed jobs, changed routines, changed everything. It didn't matter. At 2 a.m., he'd find himself driving east, against his will, against his better judgment, as if the car itself remembered the way. The second year, he tried drinking himself unconscious before midnight. Woke up at 1:47 a.m. anyway, stone sober, wide awake. The third year, he checked himself into a hotel 300 miles away. Woke at 1:47, drove back, made it to the alley with 3 minutes to spare. By the 5th year, he'd stopped fighting it. By the 10th year, he'd stopped telling himself it would end. By the 20th year, he'd stopped hoping. 1:58 a.m., Victor walked downstairs, careful to avoid the creaky third step. Out the front door, into his car. The engine started with a quiet purr. The drive took 11 minutes. He knew because he timed it 1,000 times. The alley was on 7th Street, between a pawn shop that had closed in 2003 and a dry cleaner that had never quite recovered from the 2008 recession. Both buildings were dark now. Everything was dark, except the street light at the alley's entrance. That light never burned out. Victor had noticed. 20 years, and that same bulb had never failed. As if something needed the light, as if something wanted him to see. 2:09 a.m. Victor parked half a block away. Same spot, always the same spot. He walked to the alley entrance and stopped. This was the moment when he could still turn back, could still get in his car, drive home, pretend tonight would be different. But it wouldn't be different. It was never different. Victor stepped into the alley and waited for the echo. The alley hadn't changed in 20 years. Same brick walls, same dumpster, same fire escape hanging like a broken promise. Same exact spot, 12 feet in, on the left where Tommy Reeves had died. Tommy Reeves. Victor could still see his face. Young, 32, dark hair, crooked smile, laugh that filled a room, and eyes that had gone wide with betrayal when he realized his friend, his partner, was pointing a gun at him. Victor stood in the exact spot where he'd stood that night. October 14th, 2004, 2:15 a.m. They just pulled off the Riverside Bank job. $340,000 in cash. Split 2 ways. A fortune. A new life. Everything they'd dreamed about for months. Until Tommy said he wanted to turn himself in. Victor remembered the conversation. Every word burned into his brain like a brand. I can't do this, Vic. I can't live like this. You're just scared. It'll pass. No, it won't. We hurt people. That guard. The guard's fine. Nobody died. But they could have. And next time we might not be. So lucky. There won't be a next time. We take this money. We disappear. We're done. I'm already done, Vic. I'm turning myself in tomorrow. You should too. That's when Victor had pulled the gun. He hadn't meant to. Not really. He just wanted to scare Tommy, make him see reason, make him understand that turning himself in meant turning Victor in too. But Tommy had reached for the gun, and Victor had pulled the trigger. The echo of that gunshot had bounced off the brick walls. Crack, 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 crack. Fading, dying, until it was silent. Victor had stood there, gun in hand, watching his friend bleed. Out on the alley floor, Tommy had tried to speak. His mouth moved, but only blood came out. He died in 43 seconds. Victor had counted. Then he'd made a choice. Not the right choice. Not the moral choice. The survival choice. He dragged the body to his car, driven to a construction site on the south side where he knew they were pouring foundation the next morning. Buried Tommy under 6 feet of earth that would become 8 inches of concrete by noon. Gone, erased, forgotten. Except Victor hadn't forgotten. And at 2 a.m. in this alley, neither had the world. 2:15 a.m. Right on schedule. It started as it always did. A whisper, a breath, a sense that the air itself was holding its breath. Then, crack, the gunshot echoed through the alley. Not a memory, not imagination. Real, loud, as clear and sharp as it had been 20 years ago. Victor's hands flew to his ears, but it was already inside his head. The echo bounced off the walls. Crack, 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 crack. Then came Tommy's voice. Vic, why? 2 words. The last words Tommy had tried to say before he died. Victor sank to his knees. I'm sorry, he whispered to the empty alley. God, Tommy, I'm sorry. The echo didn't care. It never did. Victor knelt in the alley, hands pressed against the cold pavement, tears streaming down his face. This was new. The tears, the collapse. For 20 years, he'd stood stoic through. The echo, endured it, wore it like penance. But tonight felt different. Tonight, the echo was louder, clearer. Tonight, it felt like Tommy was here. You're not here, Victor said aloud. You're dead. You're in the ground. You can't be here. Footsteps. Victor's head snapped up. Someone was walking toward him from deeper in the alley. A figure, silhouette, moving slowly, deliberately. Who's there? Victor's voice cracked. The figure stepped into the streetlight. It was a man, mid-30s, dark hair, crooked smile. Tommy Reeves. Victor scrambled backward, crashing into the dumpster. No, you're not real. You're not real. The figure tilted his head. Define real, Vic. It even sounded like Tommy. That slightly mocking tone. The way he'd questioned everything. You're a hallucination. Guilt. Trauma. My brain finally cracking. Under 20 years of coming here every night. Tommy, or whatever this, was crouched down to Victor's level. 20 years of hearing that gunshot. 20 years of my voice asking why. Victor couldn't speak. You want to know if I'm real? Tommy reached out, placed a hand on Victor's shoulder. It was cold, impossibly cold. Does that feel real? Victor shoved the hand away, scrambling to his feet. Stay away from me. I can't stay away, Vic. You won't let me. Tommy stood, spreading his arms. You come here every night. You call to me with your guilt, with your need for punishment. Did you think I wouldn't? Answer. You're dead. I buried you. Victor's voice broke. I killed you. Yes, Tommy said softly. You did. So what are you? Victor demanded. A ghost. My conscience. Hey, psychotic break. Tommy smiled a crooked smile. Maybe I'm all 3. Or maybe I'm just an echo that learned to answer back. Echoes don't talk. They do if you listen long enough. And Vic, you've been listening. For 20 years. Victor pressed his back against the brick wall, trying to ground himself in reality. Cold brick. Real. The smell of garbage. Real. The sound of distant traffic. Real. But Tommy, why now? Victor asked. Why are you here now? Because tonight's the night you finally break. Tommy stepped closer. Tonight's the night you can't carry it anymore. 20 years, Vic. That's a long time to carry a body. I didn't carry. Not my body. The weight of what you did. The guilt. The secret. It's been crushing you. Slowly. And tonight. Tommy reached out. Again, this time touching Victor's chest. Tonight, your heart finally can't take it. Victor's chest tightened. Pain radiating down his left arm. What are you doing? I'm not doing anything, Tommy said sadly. You are. This is what guilt does, Vic. It doesn't just hurt your mind. It kills your body, piece by piece, year by year. The pain intensified. Victor slid down the wall, clutching his chest. No, not like this. There's another way, Tommy said, kneeling beside him. What way? Tell the truth. Victor gasped for air. The chest pain wasn't stopping. Heart attack. Had to be. 20 years of stress, sleepless nights, carrying a secret that weighed more than a body. I can't tell the truth, Victor managed. Sarah, my life, everything I've built. Built on my grave, Tommy said quietly. Built on lies. I'll go to prison. I'll lose everything. You've already lost everything. Vic, look at you. Living half a life. Married to a woman who doesn't really know you. No peace. No sleep. No forgiveness. Tommy's voice wasn't angry. Just tired. Is this really living? Victor's phone buzzed in his pocket. Sarah probably woke up. Found him gone. Again. She thinks you're having an affair, Tommy said, somehow knowing. Did you know that? For the last 5 years, she's thought you're cheating. Because what else explains a man who leaves at 2 a.m. every night? The pain eased slightly, enough for Victor to breathe. An affair would be easier. Victor laughed bitterly. I wish it was an affair. So tell her the truth. I can't. Then you'll die here, in this alley, just like I did. Tommy stood, except you'll die alone. No friend holding your hand. No one to bear witness. Just you and your guilt. Victor looked up at the figure. Hallucination, ghost, or guilty. Conscience given form. If I tell, if I confess, does the echo stop? Tommy was quiet for a long moment. I don't know, he finally said. But isn't it worth finding out? Victor pulled out his phone, stared at Sarah's name on the screen. He could call her, tell her everything. Start there. Or he could call 911, report a murder from 20 years ago, his own. Or he could do nothing, let his heart give out, let the alley claim him the way it had claimed Tommy. His finger hovered over the screen. What did you feel? Victor asked suddenly, in those last 43 seconds, when you knew you were dying, what did you feel? Tommy crouched down again, and for a moment, just a moment, looked solid, real, human, sad, Tommy said. Not angry, not scared, just sad. That our friendship had come to this. That you chose money over me. That I'd never get to see my sister graduate. Never get married. Never have kids. All the things I wouldn't do. He paused. But you want to know the saddest part? Victor nodded, tears streaming. I was sad for you. Because I knew, even as I died, that you'd never forgive yourself. That you'd carry me forever. And I didn't want that for you, Vic. Even then. Victor's chest hitched with a sob. I'm so sorry, Tommy. God, I'm so sorry. I know, Tommy said softly. I've always known. Victor pressed 911. The phone rang once, twice. 911, what's your emergency? Victor took a breath, the deepest breath he'd taken in 20 years. My name is Victor Kane, he said. I'm calling to confess to a murder, October 14th. 2004. Victim's name was Tommy Reeves. I shot him. I buried him. And I've been running for 20 years. The operator's voice became sharp, professional. Sir, stay on the line. What's your current location? 7th Street. In the alley between the pawn shop and the dry cleaner. Victor looked up. Tommy was smiling. Not the crooked smile. A real smile. peaceful. "I'm not running anymore," Victor said. Tommy nodded once. Then, like smoke, he faded, dissolved into the air, into the echo, into memory. And for the first time in 20 years, the alley was silent. 6 months later, Victor Kane sat in a county jail cell awaiting trial. Second-degree murder. They'd found Tommy's body exactly where Victor said it would be. DNA match, ballistics match, confession, open and shut. Sarah had divorced him, quietly, sadly, but also with something like relief. She'd known something was wrong for years. Now she finally knew what. Victor's lawyer said he'd likely get 15 to 20 years, possibly less with good behavior and the fact that he'd turned himself in. Victor didn't care about the sentence, because at 2 a.m., Victor Kane slept. For the first time in 20 years, he slept through the night. No waking, no driving, no alley, no echo. The guilt was still there. It would always be there. Murder doesn't wash away with confession, but the echo, that relentless, haunting echo, had finally stopped. Tommy Reeves could rest, and so, in a strange way, could Victor Kane. Some sins echo forever, until you finally face them. And then, if you're lucky, they let you go.